Man, shout out to the ones catching the playback. I took some time to do this video. Richardson Hitchins wasn't able to enter the ring and defend his world title, his IBF world title. A lot of us know that with the IBF, they have certain restrictions that with the next day weigh in, only a 10-pound rehydration clause from the weigh in. And it's strange because Richardson Hitchins, he made weight, he did the next day weigh in, and made the next day weigh in when 10 pounds, being 10 pounds heavier than the contracted weight of 140. And then before the actual event, he gets word comes from his team that he gets sick or something like that, man. And I took some time to kind of, look around and check out a few videos, and I came across a video of where Robert Garcia was being interviewed by Smelly Setback, and he was talking about his, fighter Oscar Duarte, who was prepared to take on Richardson Hitchens and how they were prepared to dethrone him, and they were giving their take on it. And you know, um, Robert Garcia is a respected trainer, of course, future Hall of Fame trainer, and he said that this would have been if Oscar Duarte would have been successful. This would have been, I think, his 18th world champion. And I was like, wow, that's incredible. But yeah, man, he was saying that he wasn't sick. Richardson Hitchens wasn't sick on the way in. He wasn't sick the next day. He smiled and was happy when he made the next day weigh in. So they're just kind of confused on when he actually got sick, because they feel like it's a crock of shit. A lot of people feel like it's a crock of shit. They feel like Richardson Hitchens had a first off a bad weight cut because he was looking hella malnourished in a weigh-in. This is the worst I ever seen him look. I believe that the only person that ever looked that bad from a weight cut was like Devin Haney, because Devin Haney used to look like a straight African, just like how um, Richardson Hitchens looked. He really lived up to his nickname for this weight cut. He looked African. But man, shout out to Oscar Duarte and Chihuahua, Mexico. They got a W over Africa without throwing a single punch, man. You know, according to Team Duarte, what you call it, Bridgerton Hitchens. It's crazy how a nigga got two last names, but anyway, Bridgerton Hitchens, he was scared, according to Team Duarte, and I believe him. Richardson is one of them guys from Brooklyn who talks a lot of shit, and he really started feeling himself when he beat George Kambosos, man. And I just thought it was some clown shit that you beat somebody who somebody else beat, and now you think you elite. And you know, but so that was my issue with Bridgerton Hitchens, is that he talked more than he's actually accomplished and shit in the ring. Your mouth supersedes your accomplishments, and I don't like that. And when you got into a big fight to defend your world title, um, you bitched up, man. You bitched up. You know, Duarte looking like a monster now. He's looking like a boogeyman at this point because you, as the world champ, um, didn't even want to defend your title, man, or you was too ill. And it was crazy. I also this morning caught the playback of the "It Is What It Is" podcast. Because it's funny, man. These young boxers, they like to make their rounds, go to podcasts and talking their shit, saying what they're gonna do. And Bitches and Hitchens went to "It Is What It Is" podcast to Cam and Mace, before his fight, and was talking about how he was gonna do this and do that, and how he's better than Keyshawn. He'll, and he's and comparing himself to guys like Shakur and Devin. And then you didn't even show up on fight night. And these are guys from New York. And according to Mace and Cam, your Brooklyn card is being revoked right now, man. They saying that you and T.O. are making Brooklyn look like shit right now, man. Just a few weeks ago, we saw T.O., and T.O. was another person who went to the It Is What It Is podcast talking all this shit about how he was going to do this and do that, you know. And all we seen him doing a press conference was talk shit, um, make homosexual gestures towards Shakur Stevenson, and his fans gave him a pass for it. And then when he got in the ring, he got his ass fucking cooked, you know. So yeah, man, Brooklyn been doing some goofy shit. These Brooklyn boxers, T.O. act like a faggot and a racist, and then got his ass whooped. And then, this guy Bitches and Hitchins talking all of this shit about how he's this and that, and he's getting what you call it, nerve sickness and shit. Because according to Cam and Mace and a lot of the people that watch this sport, they feel like, man, you got nervous, so that's why you was throwing up and shit, because the moment was too big, and you knew he was gonna beat whatever fufu or whatever, what I'm saying, that you ate from the previous few weeks, man. Because yeah, whatever your weight cut, whatever you did leading up to this weight, this weigh-in, trash, trash, man. You know, and I think Duarte, who was looking extremely strong and comfortable making weight, he was gonna beat the dog shit out of you, man. And I would have been happy, man. If some of these dudes is just overhyped, overrated, and talk a lot of shit, but when it comes time for them to show and prove, they're nowhere to be found, or they don't show up. Don't show up in the ring, or don't show up at all. In Benjamin Hitchens' case, you know. So yeah, man. Mexico gets a W over Africa, you know, and just crazy, man. Brooklyn needs to, find a new way to turn things around, man. Got to find a way to turn things around, because it's not a good look, man. It's not a good look. You know, call yourself Africa, man, and showing up and bitched up in front of the Mexican, you know. So yeah, man, take that shit back to Africa or something, man. That weak ass energy, cause you were scared, bro. I honestly believe that that's what it was. Bitches and Hitchens, you was scared, bro. You a scary dude. You know, you all talk, and it's funny because Robert Garcia said this, and I didn't know nothing about this, but he said that there is a certain rule: if you do make weight, if you don't show up on fight night, you still get a percentage of your purse. I think he says like 20 to 25% of your purse just for making weight. So it's a whole ass move, just gonna take your little 20% and you know, ditch the whole event, and you were supposed to be one of those fights, that a lot of people were looking forward to. A lot of people want to see you get your ass beat, and other people wanted to see you prove that you was better than just whatever you did versus little Georgie Kambosos, because I don't give a fuck about that George Kambosos victory. George Kambosos ain't shit. And Tio ain't shit. That's why he got whooped by Kambosos. So a lot of you Brooklyn fighters, man, well, in particular, Tio and Benjamin Hitchens, you motherfuckers are overrated, man. Overhyped and overrated. And I'm just glad y'all getting exposed, man. I'm glad y'all getting exposed. And I'm glad New York is not having it, man. Like Cam said and paid in full, man. Pull your skirt down, B. You know, oh, I know what you need. You just need some more soup, B. You need a thermometer, blanket, you know. Crazy, man. Crazy work that you out here repping Brooklyn, calling yourself Africa, and you out here throwing up fufu and shit. And having fear of God when you get in front of this Mexican Oscar Duarte. And Oscar Duarte is confused, man. He not used to this sucker shit. He was confused as heck, trying to speak English and shit. He said, I ain't doing no bitch ass nigga. He didn't say all that, but he should have called him a bitch ass nigga, man, because he is. Richard Hitchens, you went on this whole promo parade about this, that, and the third, man, talking about, yeah, man, just unprofessional. You need to get a better nutritionist, and grow some balls, man. you know. And it's just crazy. It's just a select few of these fighters like Benjamin Hitchens, Floyd Schofield Jr., guys that love to just call out top names, but they going to get sick. You want to be an ill nigga, on fight night. Yeah, get out of here, man. So I don't respect Floyd Schofield Jr. I don't respect Benjamin Hitchens. I don't respect T.O. Homosexual Jr., Lopez Jr. None of these goofy motherfuckers that be talking shit and then don't even show up on fight night, and prove that they said, prove that they are what they said they was. So flame of shame to Richardson Hitchens, man, for not being professional, not defending your title, and not doing exactly what you said you was gonna do, man. It was an opportunity for you to shine on a big card, and because you chickened out, Oscar Duarte is back on the map, man. And Mexico is proud about the shit. Robert Garcia's camp is proud about the shit. And I agree with them, man. If you come back, you better fight Oscar Duarte. Nobody else. Don't try to redirect and pick another opponent. Oscar Duarte is who you need to come back and fight. Until then, shut your bitch ass up. We don't want to see your ass do no interviews, none of that. Unless you're announcing, hey, my stomach is better now. My nerves are settled, and I'm ready to fight this man now. So, yeah, man. Rich Hitchens is a coward, and until further notice. Shout out to the ones catching the playback. Shout out to Bruce Gas in the chat too, man. So shout out to the ones that caught the video. Leave y'all thoughts below. If you agree with Cam Mace, if you agree with myself that Richardson Hitchens is a coward, and that the only way that you want to see him come back is if he's facing Oscar Duarte, because Duarte, he was on a 3-fight win streak, and put himself back in position to fight for a world title. And it's unfortunate that he wasn't able to get that opportunity, because this dude want to get contract. He want to be an ill nigga before on fight night or whatnot, and duck. So yeah, I just think that Richard Hitchens, he knew he was gonna get his ass whooped, so he ducked. So with that much being said, flame and shame again to this fruity African, Richard Hitchens, repping Brooklyn, and I'm glad Brooklyn is flaming you. So yeah, they're gonna keep flaming you, man, until you get back in the ring and fight this man. We on to the next Black Horseman.